Will AI take over video game development? This is a question that many developers fear. I would be lying if I said this topic didn't make me slightly nervous, as I work from home full-time as an indie developer, and I do not myself use AI. Thomas Brush, who just released his game Twisted Tower, is very well known in the video game development world, and often talks in his podcasts about the effects of AI, and it is clear to see his concern. It got to the point where I would think, where in this podcast is he going to bring up AI? Well, it's hard to blame him, as we see more and more Steam games popping up, specifically showing a little flag that says we used AI in the development of this game. Well, in Thomas Brush's podcast, he also admits to using Grok to code, as well as make some of the tools that helped the game come into production. He's not the first. I've heard lots of larger developers say that in some capacity they have used AI as well to code their projects. Thornity, who teamed up with Aramis to make a game about feeding a black hole, which was a huge success, admits to using AI to do some of the coding in the game, as well as creating advanced marketing systems from scratch. While there is no doubt in my mind that AI can speed up the development of creating games, but my question is, at what cost? People are often crucified for mentioning the words AI. Even myself recently, I made a video about using an AI program to generate 3D models, and I lost hundreds of subscribers because of it. Recently, Samyam did a video on an AI coding software, which left her in some very hot water. And so to be clear, I am not here to criticize or blame these people in any way. I'm here to remain neutral, and I'm just gonna talk about the facts. This video is an experiment, and a look at what lies beyond vibe coding, which is still the most accepted form of AI in video game development world. And so I ask, what does it look like if AI entirely generates a game? Is this actually a threat? Should us indie developers be nervous about losing our jobs? And what if AI can completely replace us making games? So today I will experiment with a software from a company named Tasana, and there will be a link in the description down below if you want to check it out. The goal of this video isn't to tell you to use it. It's not to say that it is the future. It's not to manipulate you or force you into using AI in any capacity. This video is simply an experiment to show you what generative AI is doing in the video game development world right now. So, a human being can simply type in a prompt, and it spits out a complete game. No coding, no 3D modeling, no hours trying to fix a bug. But is there a drawback? Is there now no passion? If you could sculpt a stone statue instantly without ever touching a tool, is it still your art? And once I've shown you what this software can do, we'll discuss whether this is a threat to the video game world and jobs like my own. We'll think about what the future might look like. And most importantly, I'd love to know your thoughts below in the comments field. Should you be afraid of AI? Let's find out. The next part of this video is entirely unscripted and I have no idea what's going to happen, but let's jump in. So the first thing I wanted to do was just kind of look at this community tab, search tab. Let's try marketplace. And I wanted to see like what are people actually making on this website, like this with this AI, like what's the quality of the games? Top games this week, what everyone's playing: Scarlet Rush, trending 145 plays, which doesn't seem much. Previously I checked out a game called whatever this says, Doctor on Duty. It looks like a Russian game. And it was very basic sort of text like game. It wasn't bad, it was just very simple. But let's quickly just look at what Scarlet Rush does. Okay, pretty standard loading screen, play, loads, it loads in the browser. Okay, WSAD, jumping around. Sunset Strip. Okay, I fell. Okay, first impressions. Not as bad as I was expecting. Clearly the art's AI, but seems to be working pretty well. There's even the sort of options menu for the sound. Okay, as for this website, I'm not super sure if you can download the games you make or if it would be even possible to get one of these games on Steam, but it seems like they have their own kind of economy here where you can play free games, You can sort by top games. There's people selling games on here. But let's look at what it looks like to build a game. So my first thought was, let's make a horror game. Make a horror game, first person, in a forest with a creepy Slender Man-like mascot or inspired monster that chases us through the forest. We should be able to hide and collect clues on how to escape. My thought is create something very generic, nothing too complicated, see what happens. So let's go ahead and we're in plan mode. We're gonna hit draft plan. Now I've never done this before. I have no idea how this works, but I can see here it's exploring my prompt, is drafting my game plan. Okay, so it looks like it created some kind of character for us. The mascot stalker. Okay, it's definitely not a mascot, but it is creepy. And it is maybe more Slenderman inspired than it is mascot, but it's not bad. It's interesting. I can see over here it's creating an abandoned camp, a rusted park gate, a ranger watchtower. It's creating a flashlight, clue page, a welcome sign. It's even creating audio clips, ambient sound, forest night dread. It's composing chase music and a mascot shriek. It's kind of insane to think someone could sit modeling something for hours, or just AI creates it instantly. I guess that's in that it is some of the issue with why people don't like AI, because it takes like what can be a human thing and it just creates it instantly. And clearly there can be some issues with that. I can see now, I didn't realize this, but this is actually like a hierarchy of what's in my scene. So there's other stuff here, a wood barrel, a crate, camp welcome sign, camp Crystal Lake, very nice. There's sounds, there's music. Okay, textures, forest floor, pine bark, mud. There is like part of me, it's like you almost don't want it to be this good because it increases like the fear of being replaced, right? Sorry, but that's the enemy mascot scream. Like we want it to be bad because we want to keep our jobs, right? But some of these models are impressively good. It's still working, so it's not a fast process. Well, I guess fast is it's all relative, right? It's been going about 5 minutes and it's created tons of UI and textures and a few models, sound effects. And on the side, it's sort of talking about its thought process called Hollow Pine First Person Survival. It even names your game for you. You don't have to you don't have to think about the name of your game. Why would you want to do that? You're basically at a summer camp. Oh, no. Okay, I don't know what happened, but here we are again. It's interesting. The cover art looks nothing like this. Does not what our monster looks like. This looks like a Slender Man mascot, and our monster does not. I suppose before I can build this, I could reiterate here a little bit. The mascot stalker doesn't look like the cover art. It needs to have a mascot vibe. This one does not at all. The cover art has bunny ears and a creepy mask. Can we add that to our model? So again, I've never done this before. I don't know if I can even change what the mascot looks like from here. So it looks like it's going to regenerate the model. It's going to build a proper reference image first. So the 3D model is driven by an exact silhouette. Okay, and now it's creating some reference images. We have here other. So like that's the interesting thing about AI is it can't actually understand what it's looking at. It doesn't really know what it's doing. Like this mascot is much different than the other mascot, which is much different than the actual model that it created for us. There's I think they call it like hallucinations, right? I think these are the reference images that it created, which are definitely more like mascot inspired. Again, I'm not really sure at this point in time whether the game you make can run standalone or if it's just on this website and that's all there is to it. Because if it's just running through this website, I can't see it ever being a threat unless it could get on Steam. If it could get on Steam, then I mean, still, I don't know. This can't be what it created, can it? Mascot bunny. It's weird that it could make all of these like mascot bunny images, right? But then when it goes to make it into a model, maybe it's not done. Okay, so this is the frustrating thing about AI, right? I say, okay, this doesn't look like mascot horror. It goes, okay. It generates a bunch of images which are actually pretty cool, and then it spits out the same thing again, and this which looks like a what do you call it, Backrooms character. And no, so I'm gonna say none of the models you created even look like the reference photos. I don't know if there's a way I can reference one of these. Can I drag it? No. Can I add? No. Let's just say bunny T-pose v3 idle image. You should use this to create the model. Now it'd be really cool if you could link some of the assets in the prompt. I also find it interesting that there are no trees. There's no tree models. Okay, and it thinks it did something. It thinks it went back and tried to make my bunny model, but they're exactly the same, all of them. There's nothing new here. At this point, I'm just going to hit approve and build. I don't know if once I do this, if it's going to make more stuff, or if this is entirely what's in the scene, and that's all it has access to. Seems like as it's building, it's saying that it's like learning about things. It looks like it's like learning about AI pathfinding, learning about lighting atmosphere. It's like it's learning things before it executes it, which is interesting. It's not like, okay, here's the database of things I already know. It's like fully reaching out in the moment, and it does appear to be adding new assets to the library. So this wasn't everything. I do wish we could have gotten our proper mascot. Okay, so it's been going for about 4 minutes. Looks like it's making a tree stump, a tent, mossy boulder, a hollow log, camp arch, supply shed, ranger cabin, camp cabin, ranger watchtower, sorry. I'll let you know what happens. Okay, so 6 minutes and 50 seconds in, a little update. It started spitting out these models. Even though it says 0 to 8 done, it is spitting out some models. A tree stump, tent, hollow log, cabin. Okay. Watchtower. Alright. And now it's going to be working on some other things. We got picnic, bunk bed, camp lantern, journal page, flashlight. Okay, so it finished some other assets. A mossy boulder. There's a mossy boulder for you. I've made a flashlight, a torch, or a camp lantern, picnic table, journal page, and a bunk bed. And now it appears it's setting up an audio system and it's programming game state, which is a part of UIKit or something or other. Okay, we are now 26 minutes in. It's done quite a bit. It's programmed the player, programmed the mascot, programmed interactables, made some kind of forest builder. It's building the game world, it's building the game world scene, and checked the game code. And now it seems to be importing assets. And I just discovered if you click on one of these any one of these things, it opens up the plan or the project, which actually looks like it's writing it in Godot, which is interesting. And if you scroll down, you can see this. I mean, this goes on forever. This is maybe like 100 pages of code that's writing behind the scenes. Just insane amounts of code. So it is interesting. It built the game completely, and now it's doing QA. So it's playtesting the game, which is a little insane to me that's even possible. But and it's appearing that the flashlight isn't lighting up the scene, and everything's too dark to play. So it is playtesting it more, and lots more playtesting. Very, very interesting. It's weird. I feel a sort of like helplessness. For instance, if I was running the game and I and everything was too dark and I couldn't see with the flashlight, I would know what was wrong, right? I would know, okay, I need to look at the lighting settings, I need to look at the direct light settings, I need to look at the directional or the point light, I need to look at the material themselves. But when AI has created everything, and then AI is testing your game, and you're just kind of sitting here watching the feed, yeah, there's just a helplessness where I'm like, I can't even help you figure out what the problem is. It's entirely letting the computer figure it out, which is a situation I've never experienced. Okay, it's been 58 minutes, and it's saying, build and playtest are clean, 0 console errors. Now what? I'm hitting preview, building a temporary playable preview. Failed, okay. Click the preview to play. Try the preview again. Okay, I'm unable to preview. I'm just gonna say preview says error 503. Oh. Okay, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was loading anyways. Okay, we got look sensitivity and volume. We have a quit button. We have enter the woods. Okay, I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous about this. We're loading. Okay, we're in. Frame rate is very low. I am able to move. It's very dark. I do not know how I can turn my flashlight on, if I have a flashlight. Oh, I do. Okay, I hit F and I have a flashlight now. Runtime error detected. Fuck off. Okay. So the gate is shut. What if I just go around it? So I need six pages to open the gate. What happens if I try and open it? The chain holds. Okay. The audio is, I think, glitching too with the low frame rate. Does not see the way we do. Light is what follows. Okay. So I have one of the pages here. I kind of want to like see the monster, but it's kind of painfully slow FPS here. It sees you. Oh shit. Here it comes. Well, you've seen now what AI can do when it fully generates everything. My honest opinion is it's a long ways from comprehending what makes a game a game. AI is really good with numbers, right? So like it's probably like, okay, this page is exactly this distance from this other page and things like that. But can AI make a playable game? It probably really depends on the type of game. In hindsight, I think a 3D game is probably extremely challenging for AI. I'm guessing like a 2D game, something that was mostly UI based, which again is like a math thing, it would probably do a lot better. I'm not feeling this point in time that AI can successfully make games on its own. I think AI needs humans, the human touch. When you saw that, it was running really bad. And my guess is, again, it's running the browser, so it's really hard to make anything 3D run in a browser well. So if we think about currently, if we look at just currently, can AI fully generate a game? Yes, it can. Does it compete with human-made games? At this point in time, I would say no. A human-made game is just higher quality all around. If you want to call whatever that was a game, yes, of course, AI can make a game. Would someone pay for that? Of course not. But it does make you think, right? Because a lot of these websites like Tasana are the first to do something like this, right? They're the first to create a fully functioning system that can generate an entire game from scratch, from nothing. And that in itself is impressive, and it makes me think, what is the future? If this is just the very beginning, I could see in maybe 10 years from now, where you could do what I just did and type in the prompt and you would get a scarily well made game. And I say scarily because it would be scary just how good it was, but I don't think that we are there. So people in the game development business, like myself, I don't think we need to worry for about 10 years. In about 10 years from now, I don't know. There is also this wide perception, again, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, where people reject AI. We don't want it because it takes jobs from people. It's bad on the environment, things like that. I mean, I wonder about the environmental thing, because a lot of people say like, oh, it's terrible on the environment. Well, so are cars. So is every single aspect of being human. We destroy the environment just by being alive. What's one more thing? I'm not saying that it doesn't destroy the environment, but so does everything. So if that's your only angle, it's a little hypocritical. If you are worried about it taking your jobs, sure, if you're in certain careers, I'm sure AI will take your job. I think we need to embrace change, and I'm not saying we need to use AI, but we need to accept its existence. I don't think it hurts to understand it. I certainly don't think that someone should be criticized for having AI help them with a coding issue. Like, for instance, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Thomas Brush and Thornity, people like that are using AI to help them create systems they wouldn't normally be able to understand, or create tools that they'd have to. The thing is, these people could make these things, but Google, by using AI, they're speeding up the process of it, and everything is human-led. It's still a human-made game. I think it's important to remember that. What you just saw was completely AI-made, and there's a big difference from having help with code and AI entirely creating your game. Again, I want to know what your opinion is. Leave a comment down below. Talk to people. This is an experiment. That's all. This has been Seth Odell Studios. We'll see you in the next video.